Okay.
Oh, I knew I loved you, and it left me. So I gotta get up early and I'm
Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone, presents the Hardge Knocks Live with Mike Hardge and Shannon Sweeney.
Good morning, Austin, Texas, Killeen, Texas, Pflugerville, Texas, H-Town, and of course, D-Town, or wherever you may be listening. This is the Hardge Knocks Life on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone. It's a thirsty throwback Thursday edition of the Hardge Knocks Life. Coach Vic Shaver talks about his squad as they get ready for the postseason. 3 Longhorns continue to be moving around in the mock drafts. Eric Henry of Horns 24/7 joins us at 7:40 to talk hoops and spring football. That's right. Spring football is just a couple of weeks from starting, and I know you can't wait for it. The Buffalo Bills clean house. What's next for the Buffalo Bills and the Dallas Cowboys, of course, and the Houston Texans? And David Pierce joins us at 8:40 as he gets ready to open up Big 12 play as they make that trip to Lubbock. And the NBA stuff is heating up too. But before we get into all of that, I'm your host, Mike Hardball Hardge, and joining me as she always does is the lovely Shannon B. Sweeney. But you know as the salty one. Good morning, Salty. How you doing?
Hardge, I said before my Vegas trip that I'd be sober for 2 weeks, just before it like really goes hard in the paint for March Madness. 3 days. I made it 3 whole days. And then someone had to have a birthday. Someone had to have a birthday dinner. And now we got a work event tonight.
Yeah, we do have a work
with an
event
open
tonight.
bar.
Ooh, you're in trouble.
Mm.
But why would you put that upon yourself? Like, why would you decide?
I'm just trying to, I don't do dry January because, you and I have birthdays in January and there's a lot still going on. And then February, it's like you have Valentine's Day.
You have
So
Super
I'm like,
Bowl.
all right,
You have Super Bowl.
Yeah, Super Bowl.
Yeah, no, nobody's talking about Valentine's
It's
Day.
like there's things I gotta do, know?
Right.
And so I was like, you know what? 2 weeks in March, the weather's nicer. I can get out. I walked for a good bit yesterday. That's what I enjoy doing, putting on the headphones and listening to my new JT music and going on a nice walk. But yeah, I didn't make it as far as I thought I would.
It was the thought that
I didn't
counted.
go crazy. I'm
No,
not
that's the
like
thought that counts.
throwing back shots.
So here's the deal. I've never been one to try to do all those, goals and all that stuff when it comes to the drinking, not drinking, going somewhere, not going somewhere. Here's the main thing that I would always tell anybody. Moderation.
Right.
Moderation.
Which I always try to do.
Exactly. So, I mean, for you saying, "Oh, I'm not going to drink. I don't want to." I like the ambition.
It's really also the empty calories that I'm trying to work around.
It's okay. I got it.
Because the summer's coming, Hardge.
But and you're not going to drink during the summer.
Well, I'll tell you what, I am going to drink. You got me hooked on these Celsius drinks. I've seen a lot of people drinking them, and I finally was like, all right, let me see. And yeah, now me and my mama she ordered a whole Amazon case of them.
I've done that plenty of times myself.
They're delicious.
Yeah, they're very good. So I'm glad that you understand your weakness. You also understand your strengths, and you've decided, okay, moderation is the key, Salty.
Mm-hmm.
Moderation will always be the
moderation,
key,
and I should really get better about not mixing alcohols because it started with a margarita and then ended with a wine. And I'm like, why do I keep doing that? That's not a combo I need to keep doing.
As my son DJ likes to quote the great rapper, Chance the Rapper.
Mm-hmm.
You're not a drinker. You shouldn't be doing that. So let's get into this Texas basketball. Women's basketball get ready to start the Big 12 tournament. Obviously, Texas men's basketball at home, last home game of the year as they get ready to host Oklahoma. But I want to talk a little bit about this basketball team and what we have been able to see and they have been able to achieve. Yesterday, Coach Vic Shaver addressed the media, and he talked about, obviously, Madison Booker. Our guy, Danny Davis, asked him about Madison Booker and what she's been able to bring to this basketball team and the way that she has achieved a lot during this time. But he had an interruption during the media availability. as you know, a lot of our time we do media availability on Zoom. That's a beautiful thing that Zoom has been able to provide for us. You know, during the pandemic, we learned how to do that. Now, when you do it, you get kind of comfortable and you forget to mute yourself sometimes. And Coach Vic Schaefer was not happy about that.
Remarkable, to be honest with you. And so I'm proud of her. At the same time, it's hard to really reach your full potential.
I was trying to use the computer when he's logged in, but I've been told nobody's been there since the morning.
Okay.
Somebody off mute right now.
Hold on. Sorry. Give me 1 second. I'm on a Zoom call.
Oh,
I'm trying to make sure.
Hey, I'm just having a press conference. It's no big deal. In any case, what Amo's done is really, really special as well.
No, you're good. I thought there was a problem with it, so that's why I was like,
Darren, I think you should be on mute. Thanks. Go ahead, Coach.
Does that answer your question, Danny?
It does, but could you also talk a little bit about Deanna?
Well, yeah, I think with Deanna, I knew she had a chance to be sixth player of the year. And, with that being said, we've been bringing her off the bench. She's certainly been producing at a pretty good level for us this year, down the stretch. And, in her last 5 games, she's averaging 10 and 3. And in her last 3 games, she's averaging almost 11 and 4. So, I knew she'd have a chance for that. It's why we nominated her for that. I appreciate the coaches acknowledging, how important she's been to us and what she's brought to the table coming off the bench for us.
Well, the main thing for that is he was talking about the players. Deanna Gaston, 6th player of the year. Aaliyah Moore, who ended up being second team, coming off of all of her injuries. But, of course, Madison Booker and what she was able to achieve and how she uplifted this team in a situation where Roy Harmon, who's the point guard, is the person that you did not want to lose during that time. But for her to be elevated, and even Coach Schaefer alluded to the fact, he's like, guys, I knew she could play point guard if we needed her to. We didn't want to have her to be our point guard.
Right.
So it goes back to my point. It's like, hey, look, I understand you were put in a situation, but that's why you are who you are as a head coach. That is why you recruit the way you recruit, and that gives you an opportunity. But to win a lot of ball games. But one thing that he said, and we didn't get to the sound of it, he talked about practice after having 2 days off. And the question was asked, how do you keep these ladies focused and get them ready for what's next, right? The postseason is so important and critical because it can end at any moment. You don't win, you're out at this point. Yep. There is no tomorrow. So he said, well, if you would have saw us practice yesterday, you probably wouldn't have thought that we were a good basketball team because we couldn't get anything done. He was talking about the inbound play because they did a lot of situational stuff. Mm-hmm. And the things that he goes through and the things that he's going to change. He said that we've been getting out rebounded, second chance rebounds, free throws, not blocking out. Those fundamental things that we kind of take for granted sometimes, right? Like you go through it. We see it at basketball games all the time. Who's got shooter? Nobody's even talking about who's got shooter. Yeah. On the free throw. And that's one of my biggest pet peeves is like, just box out. Just box out. It's effort. All you got to do is know that I got to put my body up against somebody else to not let them get the rebound. So Coach Schaefer is really pushing that narrative and getting his team ready to play. As we talked about, they play on Saturday evening. We don't know the opponent just yet. They got it. The Big 12 tournament starts today. So there will be some games that will be played, and we'll talk a little bit more about that a little bit later in the show. But coming up next, I want to talk about these Texas Longhorns and the mock draft. There's a lot of guys that I go to for mock drafts and kind of lean on them a little bit. They got some Longhorns moving up in that thing, and I'm kind of excited for some of these guys. We'll talk about it when we get back right here on the Hard Knocks Life on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
Your sports radio AM 1300 The Zone show hosts are looking good. Want to know how we know? It's time. Not ready! Because the Hardge Knocks Life and the Craig Way Show have live video streams, faces for radio, and the digital screen.
It's main event time.
It's going down. Find us on Facebook at AM 1300 The Zone.
Don't miss the iHeart Country Festival at the Moody Center on Saturday, May 4th. Tickets on sale now at iHeartCountryFestival.com.
Texas Highway 130, the service road northbound to Tesla. We do have an accident with minor brake tabs. Highway 21 at Williamson, that accident cleared, that roadway up and moving. I'm Ty Holt with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. Need to hire? You need Indeed. Their end-to-end solution helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all year round. Schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from your Indeed dashboard. Learn more by visiting Indeed.com/credit.
Mike Hardge here, and I want to talk to you about my friends over at Cover 3. Relax and enjoy your event while Cover 3 Catering handles everything from delivery to setup. You can choose from a variety of mouthwatering menus. To order, visit cover-3.com. That's cover-3.com.
Hi, this is Earl Ron, president of New South Window. New South offers volume discounts for homeowners. The more you buy, the more you save. Our discounts start at the fourth window, and from there, the savings grow. New South can do this because we own our factory, and that's the power of Factory Direct. Visit us at newsouthwindow.com.
Record-breaking, global sensation, Chris Brown. The 11/11 Tour. Chris Brown, live in Austin. Moody Center, July 17th. With special guest, Money Long. Get tickets this Monday at 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster.com. The brand new album, 11/11, is available everywhere. For more, visit ChrisBrownWorld.com.
Swing into the new year with a home run for your dental health at 12 Oaks Dental, Austin's complete health dentist. They are dedicated to your wellness and keeping your smile healthy for a lifetime. Schedule a new patient appointment today and score a complimentary bacteria test and consultation. Make your dental health a grand slam. Visit 12oaksdental.com. 12 Oaks Dental, where every smile is a home run. Proud radio sponsor of UT Athletics.
Join South by Southwest for the community concerts at Lady Bird Lake from March 14th through the 16th. Shows from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. each day. See performances by artists like Patrick Pike and Friends, Vallejo, and Zap featuring Bootsy Collins. And make sure to check out KUTX Rock the Shores on March 16th featuring indie music for indie kids. This event is open to the public, no badge required. So make sure to let your friends know. For more information on the community concerts, visit sxsw.com/outdoor-stage.
Discover, this is Daniela.
Hi, it's Jennifer Coolidge. I just want to thank you for making me feel so special. I earned cash back on debit for my dinner party groceries.
That's great. But with Discover Cashback Debit, we give everyone cash back on everyday purchases. Anything else I can help you with?
Do you like asparagus and mushroom sorbet? I've got leftovers.
Introducing Discover Cashback Debit, a checking account with cash back. It pays to Discover. Eligibility and terms at discover.com/cashback debit. Discover Bank, member FDIC.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. HIMS.com/RADIO.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Your garage door won't go up or down, so give us a call. We're all over town. Promise to you is honest and fair. The real Cedar Park overhead doors. The garage door on your house needs repairs. Call Cedar Park Doors and we'll be there. We'll get there fast and we'll treat you fair. Call Cedar Park Overhead Doors.
When is a garage door emergency repair truly an emergency? When it happens to you, of course. When you need a repair done fast, trust the experts to get it done now. Call the real Cedar Park Overhead Doors. Trust our family to fix it right the first time. For over 30 years, when our phone rings, we're ready to serve all your garage door needs. So when that spring goes sprung or you forget to open the door when backing out, we'll be there for you. Customer first, that's honest and fair. We're here for you 24 hours a day and online at cedarparkgaragedoors.com.
We work really hard while the other guy snores. Happy customers, we have more. We'll get it right and we'll get the job done. For Cedar Park Overhead Doors. 335-7441.
The free iHeartRadio app is #1 for music, radio, and podcasts all in one. Discover a new podcast from our library of hundreds of thousands of titles. Here's an iHeartRadio podcast preview.
Hey everyone, I'm Shayna Naomi Krochmal, and I am so excited to tell you about Entertainment Weekly's special new podcast series, Untold Stories Pride Edition. We've asked some of our favorite LGBTQ artists and performers of today about the queer and trans Hollywood icons who inspired them. From film and television to theater and music, artists and authors and activists. It's a little bit history, a little old gossip, and a lot of our own obsessions as fans, paying tribute to the legends who shaped our culture and community. And whatever day of the month it is, happy Pride.
Listen and follow this podcast for free on the iHeartRadio app. #1 for music, radio, and podcasts, all in one app.
The Craig Way Show, with the voice of the Longhorns, Craig Way. Weekdays from 2 to 5 p.m. Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
Big pimpin', baby. That's right. Big pimpin', spinning cheese.
Want to send a message to Hardge and Salty? Text the word Texas, followed by your message to 81530. Standard data and message rates may apply. Now back to the Hardge Knocks Life on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
Yeah, this segment is brought to you by the great folks over at Cover 3. That's right, Cover 3 is where you need to go to celebrate your Thirsty Thursday or any day of the week, as they have a great menu for lunch. They have happy hour from 3 to 6 every day, Monday through Friday. Got the weekend Bloody Mary bar and Bubbles bar. And, of course, you can always order or pick up online. Cover 3, Cover 2. They got 3 Austin area locations and 1 in San Antonio. I was actually at Cover 2 for a little bit yesterday and had the flat top burger yesterday.
Oh, that's a classic for me.
Yeah.
And they have those special every week, different wings,
Different wings, that's right.
different pizzas,
Flatbreads, everything out there. Yeah, so
and sliders.
Make sure you get over to Cover 3 and enjoy your happy hour experience no matter what day it is. Salty, we sit here and we come up with these polls, right? We have a poll question of the
Very
day
well thought out
every day.
polls.
Yes. And today was an original one. And I thought, you came in, we're like, hey, let's have some fun with our poll question for the day. And you came in and kind of expressed the poll question. And I was like, wait, what? I didn't even realize that was even a question. So let people know what today is first, and then we'll get into the poll question.
Today, we love a good national holiday. And today,
really good one.
7th is National Cereal Day. And I'd seen this online before, like specifically TikTok videos of people pouring their cereal.
Mm-hmm.
And there are people out there who take the way in which they pour their cereal very seriously.
For sure.
So our poll question is, what goes into the bowl first? Milk or cereal? And then for me, because I don't eat cereal, I put in a third option. I don't eat cereal.
Yeah.
Which apparently is blasphemous, thanks to one voter. But Hardge, you were like, how is that even a question? Obviously, it's cereal. Obviously, and you got really passionate. I'm like, that's just it, because there are those handful of people, and we do have some votes out there for milk.
Yeah. I just don't understand it.
That's, and you made a great analogy. You were like, that's like when you go get your water out of the fridge and you get the water first and then you do the ice.
Yeah, it's just splashing.
How do you know
all
how
over.
much you need?
Exactly. So it's interesting when you see things that you don't do, right? Like I put the cereal in first so I can know my ratio of how much milk I want to put in there.
Yeah.
Well, what are they saying? Put the milk in first, then put your cereal, and then maybe add a little bit more milk because you can't take it back out.
That's right.
So
So some people have those bowls that has a straw attached to them and just sip it out.
Oh my gosh. I just don't even understand.
This to me is also, it's like the toilet paper debate. Does the roll go over or under? I like over.
I like over too. Like I don't understand the under part.
I was at my boyfriend's and it was under, and I was like,
we got some problems here,
sir.
We got.
Is this just a mistake? Because mistakes happen. That's one thing. But if this is on purpose,
that's funny.
That's not how I live in my household.
That is funny. Make sure you get over to AM 1300 The Zone and answer that poll question. Milk first, cereal first, or guess what? I don't even eat cereal.
That's
which
me.
is blasphemy. Is blasphemy. She already told us she don't like smashed fruit yesterday when we were talking about jelly and peanut butter and jelly, and you're like, oh, it's just peanut butter. Well, anyway, let's get into this mock draft and how the Texas Longhorns are deciding that, hey, this is about to be about us again. Not only was the combine about the Texas Longhorns and how they performed, but it's also about the NFL draft. I've always talked about turning on the tape. You got to turn on the tape to see exactly how guys react in big game situations or regular game situations. They work hard, they get after it, they're going to be successful. And the Texas Longhorns have kind of changed that narrative about this Texas football program. And one of the guys that have made a lot of noise over the last week has been Xavier Worthy. He was on ESPN yesterday with Matthew Berry, who's a big Texas Longhorn fan. He went to Arizona State, but he's from the great state of Texas. And they had a little conversation about, have you gotten any love from the teams? Did you get more phone calls? Did you get all these, deserved recognition right away? Because he earned it. Mm-hmm. I mean, and for us, we've seen X for the 3 years that he's been here, and he's put up numbers every single year, and that's the impressive part about it. But he was asked about Coach Sark and what this pro-style offense has meant to him, and how are you adjusting to this thought?
You go from California, you go to the great state of Texas to play for the Longhorns, led them to a college football playoff berth. How did playing for Sark and his offense get you ready for the NFL?
I feel like just his scheme and the way he called plays and the way his offense was just set up, it's just like everything I kind of like looked at the combine with meeting with teams and stuff like that. Just looking at their playbook, they're kind of showing us remember just at the end of the conference. So when it was memorization at the end of the conference, it's kind of just like looking at our own playbook. So it was really nothing to remember. It was just like, just put this together. Like it was kind of like so easy. Like just having Sark as an OC and just having his playbook and then going to look at other teams' playbook, it's really no different.
And that's the beautiful thing about it. We've talked about that with Sark, his mindset and the way that he has been able to set up players. The thought process. This is for Quinn Ewers as well. He's going to be able to go to a chalkboard or the whiteboard and be able to say, all right, this is how we look at play. This is where I pick up my keys. I can see this safety coming down, this linebacker. They're all being educated on a pro level, which is very exciting when you start to think about it. But as we talked about with the Longhorns moving up in the draft, the consensus Longhorn that should be the one that you're going to hear first off the board, it's Byron Murphy. Every mock draft, I've looked at 4 of them from 4 different people that I truly value their opinions. everybody believes that Byron Murphy will be the first guy off the board for the University of Texas. My man Bucky Brooks of NFL Network, he has the Texans taking Byron Murphy at number 23. Lance Zierlein, who's done a great job as well, has the Las Vegas Raiders taking Byron Murphy at number 13. Daniel Jeremiah has Byron Murphy going number 16 to the Seattle Seahawks. He's had them taking him for quite some time. And I don't know if it's the Puna Ford effect from when Puna was there and they had so much success with him that they're like, hold on, man, we got to get some guys in the trenches. This might be the person that I need. Well, then you look at some of the other players. Bucky Brooks only has one Longhorn going in the first round, and that was Byron Murphy. Lance Zierlein has the Eagles via a trade with Buffalo taking A.D. Mitchell at number 28. Salty, you and I will get into your buddy Mitch Morris here in a little while, but I don't want to do that for A.D. Mitchell. I can't pull for him.
Also, like, aren't they good there?
They have a lot of
that
talent.
position.
They got a lot of talent, but
I know there's been some like
the
contracts, and then maybe some
AJ
off-field
Brown
drama that's not off-field drama. I don't know what's going on in that situation, but
he's a 4-3 guy, and he can run. He can run. So you sit there and look at that, and you look at the Eagles, and then X-Man with his 4.21 combine record-setting run. They have him going to the Kansas City Chiefs at number 32. That's where Lance has him. So we have 3 Longhorns potentially in the first round. Daniel Jeremiah has A.D. Mitchell going number 26 to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So that I can do. I can root for him being for Tampa Bay if he has to go there. But they don't have X-Man in the top 5. I mean, in the top round yet either. So we're going to see what's going to continue to happen. And the name that hasn't popped up yet is one T'Vondre Sweat. The big man was rolling at the combine. 5 seconds at 366. That man is moving. So for him, I'm wondering if people are slow playing him for some particular reason. This is the defensive player of the year. This is a guy that made a lot of noise. But now you're looking at it and saying, why is he not in all of these mock drafts as a first rounder? I wonder what happened at the combine, or did they notice something? I don't know. But he's still going to make a lot of money in the league because of who he is. And he's got a great personality. But at this point, you're looking at guys that have the pedigree to be first round picks. So here's another thing I wanted to throw out there. I don't know if you got the chance to see Amarius Mims. Mims, he is an offensive tackle from Georgia. He was another guy that got a lot of conversation because he may be the largest human being that was at the combine. He's like 6'8" offensive lineman, and he is cut like a steak.
God, that just sounds hard to get in the trenches position.
Yeah.
Coming that far down.
But he is that guy. And a lot of people are looking at him. As a matter of fact, the Dallas Cowboys at number 24 are a team that has been looking at him on Lance's mock draft. So here's the other name. The Cowboys are looking at Tyler Guyton from Oklahoma. He's an offensive lineman as well. And the Houston Texans are looking at, on Daniel Jeremiah's mock draft, number 23, the Texans will be taking Brian Thomas Jr., the wide receiver from LSU. Going back to the Cowboys taking an offensive lineman, obviously, you know the reason being Tyron Smith is now free agent. They don't look like they're going to try to re-sign him. Don't look like there's going to be any restructuring. So you do need to provide some depth. There's a bunch of names that I was looking at to possibly go to the Cowboys, but I don't think they're going to fall far enough for the Cowboys to grab them if they're going to be that top-level offensive lineman. The draft has been talked about with a lot of quarterbacks going early, but those offensive linemen and defensive linemen are something that every team is going to be looking for. I just don't know if the Cowboys are going to be able to get to that point.
It's unfortunate that draft. I mean, that's the issue with playing well in that you don't get the
Yes.
best draft pick, but then the disappointment of not playing well enough to win it all.
Right.
Now you find yourself in this position of how do we make our team that much better? But then, guys could be off the board by the time it's up to you.
Exactly. And then it also believes to how do you have your board set up? What is the position of need? Where is the best player? And are you going best available? This is almost like a fantasy draft. Or do you go
but for real?
But for real. And some changes need to be happening. And we'll get into Dalton Schultz a little bit later and talk about his time with the Dallas Cowboys, because there's some things that are true, but then there's some that are like, hey man, do you remember where you're playing at now? Yeah. Don't be careful what you're asking for when you start talking about the Dallas Cowboys. But coming up next, we're going to talk some more about these Texas Longhorns, both men's basketball and, of course, football, with our man Eric Henry of Horns 24/7, right around the corner on the Hardge Knocks Life on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
Join Craig Way weekdays from 2 to 5 p.m.
On toll 130, the posted speed limit's 85 miles an hour. It's the fastest posted speed limit in the United States of America. I was telling Tom Herman about that one time, and he had never been on it. I said, but if you drive at that speed, you have to be careful because of feral hogs. He said, wow, I could just imagine what that'd be like. And I said, well, the stories are the 18-wheeler truckers that if you hit one at that speed, they just explode. He goes, man, that is cool.
Only on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. Listen to Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone on the iHeartRadio app.
Oh, you ready? You want to do this?
On your mobile phone, and take us wherever you go.
Let's go.
Like to your kid's soccer game, the PTA meeting, your local sports bar, and the trip to pick up your dry cleaning. Just download the free iHeartRadio app.
Ladies and gentlemen,
This is going to be fun.
And search for AM 1300 The Zone.
Don't miss the iHeart Country Festival at the Moody Center on Saturday, May 4th. Tickets on sale now at iHeartCountryFestival.com.
Texas Highway 130, the service road northbound to Tesla. We do have an accident with minor brake tabs. Highway 21 at Williamson, that accident cleared, that roadway up and moving. I'm Ty Holt with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by eBay Motors. eBay Motors is here for the ride with the parts you need for the prices you want. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, it's guaranteed to fit your ride the first time, every time, or your money back. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only, exclusions apply.
Are you ready for a new car or truck? Maybe a van, whatever it is, they'll get it for you at Apple Leasing. Just call them up with one phone call. This is how easy it is. And if you don't believe me, try it. Call them at 512-346-9977. You're going to get a hold of someone that's worked there forever and just go, hey, here's kind of what I'm thinking, kind of how much I want my monthly payment to be, and here's a few cars that I like. They will then give you an honest opinion on what's best for you. The car that's going to treat you right, that's going to take care of everything that you need. You know, your life changes. And if that car that you're driving now, it was great 4, 5, 6 years ago, but you need something different, they'll take your trade in. Call Apple Leasing. At least make a phone call, 346-9977, or you can go to their website, which is appleleasing.com. Trust me, you lease your first car from Apple Leasing, you'll be a customer forever. Call them today, 346-9977.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain.
But we don't speak Spanish.
So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks. Babbel's conversational method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish.
Estoy muy emocionado para ir a España contigo.
Aw, he just said, I'm very excited to go to Spain with you. Nos vamos a divertir mucho.
And that means we're going to have a lot of fun.
Sí. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. BABBEL.com.
The hit true crime podcast Paper Ghosts is back with a haunting mystery in the shadows of the Ozarks. Season 4 unravels a darkly intriguing cold case from 1989 as a community continues to search for answers about a missing girl, various suspects, and a potential connection to BTK.
It's gone from, okay, we don't think something's quite right, to there's some worry going on now because now we've found some of her clothing.
Listen to Paper Ghosts on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Elevate your outdoor living space this year using stone. Tanzite has developed stone decking crafted without any plastic composite materials to redefine durability. Visit Tanzite.com to see how stone decking doesn't scratch, stays cooler, isn't slippery, and has all the durability you would expect from stone, which is why it's guaranteed for life. At Tanzite.com, you will see how we developed stone to easily transform any ordinary wood deck. You can even make your deck waterproof for a dry space below. Versatile and adaptable, Tanzite is perfect for decks, stairs, over concrete, or ground applications. Visit Tanzite.com to start planning your project with a free 3D design and construction plan tailored to your space. Order a sample today to witness the incredible beauty and durability firsthand at Tanzite.com. That's TANZITE.com.
Hi, this is Earl Ron, president of New South Window. New South offers volume discounts for homeowners. The more you buy, the more you save. Our discounts start at the fourth window, and from there, the savings grow. New South can do this because we own our factory, and that's the power of Factory Direct. Visit us at newsouthwindow.com.
Your tax refund belongs to you, not an identity thief. Over $6 billion in tax refunds were flagged by the IRS for possible identity theft in 2023. If you're in a bind this tax season, LifeLock can help. LifeLock monitors and alerts you to identity threats you may miss on your own, even if you're careful with your personal information. And if you do become the victim of tax-related identity fraud, LifeLock has you covered. U.S.-based restoration specialists ready to solve your identity theft issues. Plus, all LifeLock plans are backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, meaning LifeLock will reimburse you up to the limits of your plan if you lose money due to identity theft. Let LifeLock help protect your financial information. Go to LifeLock.com, save up to 25% on your first year with the promo code Patrick. So promo code Patrick, 25% off. Go to LifeLock.com. LifeLock.com, identity theft protection starts here.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Gabby.
Hey, Gabby. It's Jennifer Coolidge. Hi. I'm so glad I reached you at 2 a.m.
Oh, of course. Anyone with a Discover card can call and talk to a real person 24/7. Now, how can I help?
Yeah, I used my Discover card to buy these yellow pleather pajamas, and I'm just not sure I'm pulling them off.
24/7 U.S.-based customer service. It pays to Discover. Limitations apply. Learn more at discover.com/creditcard.
Hey, Texas sports fans. Shannon Sweeney here, and it's time for basketball. Thomas J. Henry Law is thrilled to be part of the action with Texas basketball game broadcasts. Just like the athletes give it their all on the court, Thomas J. Henry and over 250 attorneys give it their all when it comes to helping you and your family get the justice you deserve. Whether it's on the court or in the courtroom, dedication, strategy, and teamwork are crucial. For over 30 years, Thomas J. Henry Law has been committed to securing meaningful results for injured people and their families. Visit tjhlaw.com or call 24/7 to get the help that you need for you and your loved ones.
Victor Wembanyama ruled out of tonight's game between the Spurs and Kings due to an ankle sprain. Texas A&M held on to beat Mississippi State in their final home game of the regular season. Houston rallied past UCF to clinch a share of the Big 12 regular season title in their first season in the conference. The Texans signed kicker Ka'imi Fairbairn to a 3-year extension worth $15.9 million. I'm Ron DeMoss.
This is Clay Travis. Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by Tractor Supply.
Doug Gottlieb here. Just like in basketball, a successful game plan starts with having the right players. The MVP team at Tractor Supply brings both hustle and heart. That's what really sets them apart. So lace up your sneakers and make winning plays by heading to your local Tractor Supply store today.
It's the Craig Way Show with Craig Way and Cameron Parker. Weekdays from 2 to 5 p.m. Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone. Back at it on the Hardge Knocks Life. Have your voice heard on the show by using the iHeart Radio app Talkback feature. Now, here's Mike and Shannon.
National Cereal Day. And we'll get Eric's answer here in just a minute. He's joining us right now on the phone. His name is Eric Henry. You can follow him on Twitter at Eric C. Henry. He writes for Horns 24/7. What's happening, my man?
Good morning. Good morning. What's going on?
Nada. So today is National Cereal Day, right? And so we've had this poll question that is out there. What goes in the bowl first, milk or cereal?
The correct answer is Lucky Charms goes in the bowl first, and you got to have the milk cold. But cereal goes in first, because if you're Lucky Charms, then the milk.
All day, every day.
You could also just not eat cereal, Eric. Did you ever consider that as an option? Because I know Hardge didn't give it to you.
Shannon, I will admit this. Now at 32, I don't eat cereal as much as I used to, but I mean, the tone of your voice sounds like you're just, looking down on a bowl of cereal.
For real. She is definitely looking down
I'm a hater.
on the bowl. She is definitely, she signed up for the hate one on that one, bro. So, but let's get into this Texas basketball team. Obviously a tough loss the other night in Waco, being up 14 at one point, and then Dylan Dessou dealing with his injury. We still haven't heard an update on him just yet. But what is your biggest takeaway from what you saw in Waco on Monday night?
Two biggest takeaways. One, this team needs to find more consistency from the starters. It really looked like we were getting that consistency, Hardge. You go back the past two games, Texas Tech, the guys show up. They carry that into Oklahoma State. And what was encouraging is, you were getting bench production for the first time this year consistently. You had a Caden Shedrick who was stepping up, looked fully healthy. Kendall Weaver made his return to the bench because they moved IT Horton back in the starting lineup, and he was giving you double digits to a point where he earned sixth player of the week from the Big 12. So you really felt like you were getting that total team effort. You switched that over to the Baylor game. And of course, Dessou, went into the game, even before you get to his knee injury, went into the game with a stomach bug. So you knew he was going to be shorthanded. But guys like Tyrese Hunter and Dylan Mitchell, Dylan Mitchell's the second leading rebounder in the Big 12. For him to only give you one rebound when he's averaging just under 8 per night, that's unacceptable against a team of that caliber. And then Tyrese Hunter, you take a look at his numbers. 6 times this year in Big 12 play, he's scored 6 points or less. He comes out and hits 2 threes in the first 60, 75 seconds of the game. They're thinking, okay, he's going to break out. Then he goes 2 for 11 the rest of the night. So that was a really big thing that stood out. And of course, Dylan Dessou's injury. And then so we get into that, we haven't quite had a full update yet. RT said post-game they think he's going to be fine. But as we've talked with folks within the program, we've heard that there is no update. Now, we actually have a press conference scheduled for 2:30 today. Dessou will be available, so we'll have a chance to ask him, and we'll see if he'll be available for Oklahoma or going forward the Big 12 tournament.
Eric, over at Horns 24/7, you've been doing a 2024 Texas position inventory. You just released your latest article on the interior defensive line. What can you tell us about that and those spots that need to be filled following the departure of Devondre Sweat and Byron Murphy?
Yeah, Shannon, last week I came on here and talked about the wide receiver position. And in my mind, that's the most intriguing kind of battle of the spring. But there's no doubt that the most important battle of the spring in my mind is the interior defensive line. Here's why. It is great as Texas's front seven was. We all know that was led by Devondre Sweat and Byron Murphy. It's impossible, guys, to expect players to play as good as Sweat and Murphy did last year. From week 4, week 5, Pro Football Focus had them rated as the top defensive tackles in college football. And their level of play, again, I mean, I don't have to remind Texas fans how good they were. It wasn't as if they just were all Big 12 players. They were far and away the best defensive tackles in the nation. It just isn't fair to expect this year's group to match that level of play. So we saw that Texas's defense in terms of the secondary was an up and down unit last year. And what really spearheaded that group were the guys up front. You're going to need that level of production. Can you get it from Alfred Collins and Vernon Broughton alone? Probably not. And that's no shade on AC, who really appears primed to have a breakout year. When I was speaking with Bo Davis, even before he left for LSU, he was really high on AC as a guy who's going to take the next step. Should he have made the choice to come back to Texas, which obviously he did, and Vernon Broughton as well. Now, in my mind, it's got to be a rotation of 5-6 guys. If you take a look at that spot, Shannon, They played 5 players who got over 250 snaps last year. So you're going to have to be able to replace that. Can Alfred Collins and a combination of, say, Jere Bledsoe or Sadir Mitchell replace Byron Murphy? Absolutely. Can the newcomer in Tia Savea and, Sadir Mitchell, Jere Bledsoe, and Zach Swanson, the combination of those guys, replace the production that you got from T'Vondre Sweat? In my mind, absolutely. So the spring is going to be crucial for identifying who those 5 guys are. We know AC and Broughton likely are going to be your starters, but who those 3 guys are behind them who are going to fill those snaps. And as a combination, as a group, can they match that level of play? Because, again, it's not going to be 2 guys. It's just impossible to expect that.
Yeah, we're talking to Eric Henry of Horns 24/7. Get over to Horns 24/7 right now so you can check out his latest article. As Salty said, it's more about the interior line at this point. But he does a breakdown on all the positions as we get closer to the spring practice starting. And speaking of that, there's a lot of conversation about these Texas Longhorns, and the biggest conversation has been about development. I talked about the combine, and I told Salty the biggest winner in the combine was not only the players, but I believe a lot of it had to do with Coach Sark and Torrey Becton, the strength and conditioning coach. What is your biggest takeaway when you watched all those guys perform at the combine this past week?
And first off, I do agree with your assessment that, Steve Sarkisian, as a developer of talent, certainly comes away as a winner, and Torrey Becton as well as someone who can get these guys ready to perform at the NFL Combine, definitely come away as winners. And listen, I'm not that guy who looks back and says, all right, well, X, Y, and Z did this, so such and such should have happened. However, it is hard. It's very hard to not see the guys perform at the Combine and ask yourself, this is a team that probably should have been playing for a national championship last year. And we talked about it even, I think, maybe around, the latter third of the year, guys. It really felt like this is a group that was really special. And the level of talent on this roster was one that, for people who've been around the program for a long time, and Longhorn fans know, it doesn't come around every year. It doesn't come around every 4 years, right? So I think the big takeaway for me was, can Steve Sarkisian and company strike while the iron is hot? While sure, you had 11 guys compete at the Combine, and you're probably looking at now with Xavier Worthy, setting the record, breaking John Ross's record for 40-yard dash. That may sneak him into the first round. So you're probably looking at 3 first-round picks. There's still a level of talent on this roster that I think is ready to compete immediately. But again, we know, it's not going to stay like this forever. It's not what Nick Saban did at Alabama. That is the outlier. That is not the norm. So I think the big takeaway was, in my mind, you kind of wish that Texas had found a way to beat Washington, because the level of talent on the roster was one that really was probably a national championship level roster last year.
Yeah, it was fun to watch. That's definitely true. So everybody was talking about going to the SEC. You get a chance to play some different teams. If you had to pick one trip, because I know you guys rotate on who's going where during football season. If you had to pick one trip, what trip are you looking most forward to this season?
Oh, well, it's 2. And luckily, it's one that I'm actually going to get. The one that we don't get this year, I'm a little biased being a Floridian, is, I'd like to make a trip to the Swamp in Florida just because it's a nice opportunity to get home. I'm about 90 minutes away from Gainesville. But the one that we're getting this year, and listen, this has nothing to do with football, but heading to Nashville.
Buddy, that's the one I've been waiting on too.
But before I was covering the Horns, I spent a lot of time in Nashville because there are a couple little smaller teams who play in Nashville. And listen, it's always a good time. I would always make sure, Hardge, that whenever that trip to go cover those teams that are located right outside of Nashville, that I get up there a day early and make sure I schedule my flight back a day late. So I'm looking forward. And 24/7 Sports' home office in Nashville too, right? We can call it a work trip as well, but we all know, Broadway, it's a good time. You don't call it Nash Vegas for a reason, right? So
no doubt. That's the one that I've been waiting for, and I'm excited about it as well. So we're going to definitely have to link up for that, man. But I appreciate you jumping on with us today. As always, make sure you get over to Horns 24/7, or better yet, go to his Twitter X page, Eric C. Henry _. Thanks, E.
Anytime. Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate it. Man, that's right. I can't wait to get that opportunity to go to
You don't have to
Las
remind me.
Vegas.
I've got a wedding to attend.
Yeah. Well, sorry about that. The schedule better. Hey, speaking of schedule, we will talk about the Big 12 championship as the University of Houston Cougars got their first share of it. We'll talk about it when we get back here on the Hardge Knocks Life on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
Let's be honest, you won't be hoisting a championship trophy anytime soon.
Hail, hail, Michigan, the champions of college football.
But you could still be a winner. Get over to am1300thezone.com and check out the contest page, where we're always giving away cool prizes, including tickets and games, concerts, and events around Austin. Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone.
Don't miss the iHeart Country Festival at the Moody Center on Saturday, May 4th. Tickets on sale now at iHeartCountryFestival.com.
Highway 21 right at Williamson. We do have an accident now cleared. Good news. On Texas Highway 130, the service road northbound at Tesla, a crash through there, a 5-minute slowdown. I'm Ty Holt with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. Bonus savings on top brands and better sleep are all the buzz at Mattress Firm's Friends and Family sale. Hurry in to save up to $700 with your extra discount. You'll even get a free adjustable base on select beds. Plus, if you see a lower price, Mattress Firm will match it. Restrictions apply.
It may be getting chilly outside, but it's always 72 degrees inside Inner Space Caverns. It's a great place to take the kids while they're on school break or friends and family while they're visiting. Why not check out the super exciting saber-tooth zip ride or pan for gemstones? Inner Space Caverns is located right off I-35 in Georgetown at exit 259. And they also feature newly remodeled gift shop and bathrooms. Check them out online, innerspacecavern.com for more details. That's innerspacecavern.com.
March is here, and it's time for tip-off. Are you ready for wall-to-wall basketball? Specs has got you covered. With a huge selection of handcrafted brews, canned cocktails, and top-shelf spirits, Specs is the perfect assist for your game day celebration. Take a time out and feed the fans with Specs sweet and salty gourmet snacks. It's time to crash the boards, and Specs is your sixth man. Specs, the fun starts here.
Hey, Joe Montana here. Back in my football days, I knew the importance of a strong defense. Now I'm sharing how you can help defend your health against pneumococcal pneumonia, a bacterial lung disease that can be life-threatening. If you're 65 or older, or 19 or older with certain chronic conditions like diabetes or asthma, you're at increased risk. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist about vaccination and learn more at knowpneumonia.com. That's KNOW pneumonia.com.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
My wife and I both, we ended up mildly sick for a few months, and the nasal congestion was probably the worst part. I had like a post-nasal drip, just super congested all the time. We were taking everything we possibly could, but nothing really worked.
Kyrie was miserable until a friend recommended Navage. Navage offers immediate drug-free congestion relief, flushing your nasal passages with refreshing saline and sucking out mucus, germs, and other airborne irritants. Don't live in misery this cold season. Use Navage so you can breathe easier, sleep better, and feel your best right away.
The biggest thing Navage has done has completely cleaned out my nasal passages. It was from the first use, I was able to just clear out anything that was stopping me from breathing correctly. Navage helps me clear the way, literally clear the way for me to operate better in the rest of my life.
Experience the Navage difference yourself. Navage is available at Navage.com or at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, and Rite Aid. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E.
Tax time is here. If your plans include upgrading from what you've been driving around for way too long, then you need to come see us at Steel GMC in Round Rock. Hi, I'm Steve David, and I've been helping folks for over 30 years find the right vehicle that's been thoroughly inspected at a price you can afford. Not only do we have a great selection of pre-owned trucks, cars, and SUVs, but ours comes with our Steel Strong lifetime warranty, and that's absolutely free. Your powertrain is protected for as long as you own it. You'll find a real Steel deal on a lot full of certified pre-owned vehicles with our free Steel Strong warranty. Exit 256 in Round Rock, or see for yourself at steelgmcroundrock.com. Steel Strong lifetime warranty, and that's absolutely free. Your powertrain is protected for as long as you own it.
Shoppers first or shoppers last.
Get a real deal from Steel.
We are professional grade.
What's up? I'm John Wall.
And I'm CJ Toledano, and we're starting a new podcast presented by DraftKings called Point Game.
Okay, you know, like at camps and stuff like this, you take the ball out, you ain't getting the ball back. Like, you the last one up the court, and they already did their thing. So I stopped there, and I just got into a rhythm and started hooping.
If King of the Court happened next season, who do you think would win?
I just think KD, bro. Like, there's nothing you can do with him.
Check out Point Game with John Wall and CJ Toledano on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
From the Audiovisual Consultation Studio, this is KVET AM Austin, AM 1300 The Zone. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app for all your sports, podcasts, and music. It's the Craig Way Show with the voice of the Longhorns, Craig Way. Weekdays from 2 to 5 p.m. Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. We're back to the Hardge Knocks Light on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone with Hardge and Salty. Follow the crew on Twitter at Mike Hardball Hardge and at Shannon B. Sweeney.
I want to make sure that you get over and use the talkback feature. That's right. You can give us a message and you might even hear yourself on air. You can voice your opinion. All you got to do is hit that talkback feature, that microphone that's on there, hold it down on your iHeartRadio app, leave a message, and we'll get it instantly, and you might even hear yourself on the show. So make sure you do that. We also want you to text us the word Texas, followed by the message at 81530. That's right. Text the word Texas, followed by your message to 81530. Standard data and message rates may apply. Salty, you know, the Big 12 basketball has been run for a lot of time, just like football was run by Oklahoma for quite some time. And then in basketball, it was always the Kansas Jayhawks that you had to worry about, and they normally are the team to beat in the Big 12. Well, there's a new sheriff in town, and last night it became obvious that the Houston Cougars are here to stay. They won at least a share of the Big 12 championship last night as they defeated UCF, and Houston finished the Big 12. Well, they're 14-3 in the Big 12. They're 8-0 at home, 6-3 on the road. They got an 8-game winning streak, and they are the number one team in the country at 27-3. Overall this season, they're 16-0 at the crib, 4-0 in neutral sites, and 7-3 away from there. So when we watch the team, and Texas is in the middle of the pack, and they have one more big home game against Oklahoma. Texas and Oklahoma are both sitting at 8-9. The winner will finish the regular season in conference at 9-9. But when you watch this team, the University of Houston basketball team, what do you see?
Depth.
They have depth, and not only that, the way that they move the basketball, the way that they defend. They play defense. They defend at a very, very high level of intensity.
Mm-hmm. Boards.
And Kelvin Sampson is relentless when you start to think about who they are, what they do, and how they go about it. This is the first time that they win a share of the Big 12 championship, first year in the conference. This is their 12th regular season title and 20th conference title in program history. The 5th regular season conference title in the last 6 years under Kelvin Sampson, and the 7th conference title, including tournaments, under Kelvin Sampson. So for those that are wondering what Kelvin Sampson is, he's one hell of a coach. He's one hell of a recruiter. And his point guard is up for the Cousy Award, Bob Cousy Award, for the top point guard in the year. And we had a conversation, and he told everybody, I have the best point guard in the nation, and how are not more people talking about him? The kid is from Maynard, Texas, which is right down the road from Austin, Texas, baby. So shout out to U of H for what they've been able to do, the impressiveness in which they go about their work. But the thing about it is, Salty, now if you lose the game, you out. So it can happen anywhere. But are they your favorite to win the national title. I know some folks in H-Town are excited about it. Hour 1 is in the books. When we come back, we're going to talk about the Buffalo Bills. That's right. Salty's homeboy is out of work, but I'm sure he won't be out of work for long. We'll talk about it when we come back right here on the Hardge Knocks Life on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
From the Audiovisual Consultation Studio, this is KBET AM Austin, AM 1300, The Zone. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app for all your sports, podcasts, and music.
Okay. Oh, and then, you know I loved you, and you left me. So I gotta get up there, and
Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone, presents the Hardge Knocks Live with Mike Hardge and Shannon Sweeney.
That's right. Hour number 1 is in the books. Hour number 2 is just about to start. Don't forget, make sure you set your alarms. 8:40 a.m. The head baseball coach for the Texas Longhorns baseball team, David Pierce, will be on to talk about the week that was and what they're headed to when they head to Lubbock today as well. But Salty, I want to talk about the NFL because there is a lot going on, like so much going on that you can barely keep up with it. But yesterday the news came out that the Buffalo Bills are cutting everybody on their football team. It just seemed like every single
everybody not named Josh Allen.
Exactly.
Pack your things.
It was going to be looking for a new home. And the thing about it to me, Salty, is when you look at all these teams and how they've come about this, it's salary cap. It's all about the salary cap. What can we do with our new salary cap? And it's tough. It is a tough situation, especially when you start to look at not only are they cutting offensive lineman Mitch Morse, not only are they cutting their safety, Jordan Poyer, they're also cutting their two-time Pro Bowl defensive back, Tre'Davious White. Tre'Davious White. They're getting rid of Syrian Neal, a cornerback, Deontay Hardy, a wide receiver, and a running back, Naeem Hines, to create approximately $25.96 million in salary cap space. They entered the day $40 million over the cap. And the other part about it is the whole thing is because of who? Von Miller. Von Miller, the guy who they made the big push for, thought he was going to be the answer to get him over the top. And not only did he not have a sack, he didn't have very many tackles. He wasn't very good last year for the Buffalo Bills. But in order to save face, they're going to cut everybody else and try to figure out what's going to happen with the rest of their team. Salty, how does this make you feel?
Yeah, I'm bummed for Mitch. He left Kansas City right before they hit it big, right? With all those Super Bowls.
Yes.
But he did get paid going to the Bills, but right, we were so used to the Bills being the punching bag of the Patriots led by one Tom Brady, and then the Bills had this resurgence. Obviously, Tom Brady leaving that division helped a little bit, them finally finding a quarterback in Josh Allen, and so we were excited for them. I bought the jersey. And so I'm sad for Mitch because I know, he's on, we're all getting older and he's, probably not going to be in the league too much longer, but there's still time to play. So I hope he finds a home that suits him and his family, but also I'm really hoping that the Eagles aren't like, you know what? Mitch has a great relationship with Travis Kelce. And Jason Kelce, brother of Travis Kelce, was a center for the Eagles who just left. And Mitch is a great center and only got released, not for his play, but because of the money, because he makes a lot of money as a great center.
Right.
I do not want him to be a Philadelphia Eagle.
I do not.
I cannot abide. I would not know her for however long that would last.
So let me ask you this. But he's also had some health issues.
The concussions, yes. But he's been, knock on wood, better in the last season or two. So, but yeah, that's always something that's out there. I've heard maybe Denver might be a landing spot We talked about Sean Payton.
Gosh.
I don't know that that's favorable. And imagine if we like Mitch and Jameis Winston. To me, is just that's an odd combo.
That would be a great.
Mitch
combo.
is a quiet and calm dude. You know, he was known as the dad for the Buffalo Bills. So you know, I don't know. He gets along with everybody, but just Jameis being Jameis, I don't know.
Jameis has kind of changed his ways.
So,
he's kind of ordained now. He came all the way around.
Yeah, it's a bummer because you actually notified me that Mitch was released, and then I went to look, and it was like, well, dang, it's not just Mitch. It's dang near the entire Buffalo Bills team.
Yeah.
I mean, they were clearly all in with Von Miller, and all that time and money now
and then
wasted, and you're in this position now. Remind me, DeMar Hamlin.
Mm-hmm.
Why has he not been released? Because he don't really play.
DeMar Hamlin, I mean, well, financial. He's not
Financial or a PR financial decision?
No, I think this is 100% financial. This is something that is, you start looking at the money, as we just talked about, they were $40 million over the cap.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you it ain't because of DeMar Hamlin.
Listen, buddy, you're going to need to play next year because no one else.
Play. He's going to play. But here's the other part of this. When you start to look at all of these teams and all the moves that are being made, my biggest question now is, how are you looking at the Buffalo Bills to be one of those teams that can exceed expectations or get to the expectations that everybody has for them? Let's just do that. Get to those expectations, and then you realize, wait a minute, they have a brand new team. And to make matters worse,
Aaron Rodgers?
They brought in Mitch Trubisky. They released everybody else, but re-signing
I heard that
Mitch
this morning.
Trubisky. Like, I don't understand that scenario to where Mitchell Trubisky has turned himself into this most valuable backup.
Yeah,
but okay, he's a former first-round pick. I get it.
They know Aaron Rodgers is in their division, right?
Yeah.
And that he will probably make it past 45 seconds of the season this year.
Well, that's what the New York Jets fans are hoping for him to get it past 45 seconds into the game. So it is an interesting view for a lot of these guys, especially now when you start to look at the financial obligations and where they were in those moments. That's a tough look.
If you're a Bills fan, what's going through your mind? Because the Bills also announced as they're
Bills
like
Mafia is losing their
as they're
mind.
releasing all these players and everything, the Bills organization announced that they're going to like basically have this big bison statue feature outside the stadium that's going to be brand new. You know, they're doing all this. So don't pay attention to that. We're going to this Instagrammable moment we're going to have for you next season.
Right. It's one of those things where the moving parts of the offseason start to happen and you're trying to figure out what is my roster going to look like? How are we going to be at this level where the Miami Dolphins are still going to be in our division? As you said, the New York Jets, we're going to have Aaron Rodgers back and hopefully at a very high level being able to play. And then you got the New England Patriots, so you still don't know what they're going to be.
Yeah, mixed bag.
But you're going to be a part of this movement. So I can't wait to see what's going to happen. I'm gonna wait to see how the draft plays out as well. But you're going to talk about putting together a team where, don't forget, you brought it up too about another team, Salty. I needed some water real quick. I'm like, dang. Well, when you brought
Thirsty
it up,
Thursday.
yeah, you brought it up a little while ago about the wide receiving core. One part of it says that A.D. Mitchell might be an answer in the wide receiving core because they've had off the field issues, supposedly with Stephon Diggs not being happy with the role that he has. Not sure how that's going to play out. You still have Gabe Davis, and of course you still have Josh Allen, but there's some opportunities that may be missed in this situation.
Did Josh Allen not was he not part of this conversation? Did they not offer him an opportunity to restructure his contract to help them out?
No, because they know that the quarterback is always going to be the one that gets the money. Goes back to the point of everybody being mad at
Dak. But get it elsewhere at a different time. I mean, now what are you left with?
You can defer a lot. Like in baseball, they defer a lot of the money.
Yeah.
You saw it. Shohei Ohtani is going to be one of the lowest. Ken Griffey Jr., who hadn't played in forever, is going to be making more money this year than Shohei Ohtani in the season. Bobby Bonilla is still going to get a check too, by the way. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what your Buffalo Bills, not yours,
No
but
more.
you guys out there who love the Buffalo Bills, and I know who you are, Bills Mafia. It's going to be interesting to see how you bounce back and build a very competitive team when all your pieces are gone. When we come back, I want to talk a little bit about the Dallas Cowboys and hear from Jane Slater. And of course, Dalton Schultz. Get the hate out your heart, dog. Get the hate out your heart. Right here on the Hardge Knocks Life on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
The Craig Way Show with Craig Way.
Tex Schramm, you'd hear him on with Brad Sham when we had the show and I was the producer for it, called Ask Tex Schramm. This was like 1987. The football Cardinals were moving to Arizona. Brad Sham is doing the show. And so he asked him, he said, well, does that mean also now there'll be a change that the Atlanta Falcons would move from the NFC West to the NFC East? And Tex's response was, well, once you're on an airplane, what difference does it make?
Weekdays from 2 to 5 p.m. on AM 1300 The Zone.
Don't miss the iHeart Country Festival at the Moody Center on Saturday, May 4th. Tickets on sale now at iHeartCountryFestival.com.
Highway 21 right at Williamson. We do have an accident now cleared. Good news. On Texas Highway 130, the service road northbound to Tesla, a crash through there, a 5-minute slowdown. I'm Ty Holt with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Randall's.
Flu season is here and Randall's has got you covered. The Randall's in-store pharmacy is offering free flu vaccines with most insurance plans. Plus, get 10% off your groceries when you get an immunization at Randall's. Go to randalls.com or check out the app for more details.
The hit true crime podcast Paper Ghosts is back with a haunting mystery in the shadows of the Ozarks. Season 4 unravels a darkly intriguing cold case from 1989 as a community continues to search for answers about a missing girl, various suspects, and a potential connection to BTK.
It's gone from, okay, we don't think something's quite right, to there's some worry going on now because now we've found some of her clothing.
Listen to Paper Ghosts on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Gabby.
Hey, Gabby. It's Jennifer Coolidge. Hi. I'm so glad I reached you at 2 a.m.
Oh, of course. Anyone with a Discover card can call and talk to a real person 24/7. Now, how can I help?
Yeah, I used my Discover card to buy these yellow pleather pajamas, and I'm just not sure I'm pulling them off.
24/7 U.S.-based customer service. It pays to Discover. Limitations apply. Learn more at discover.com/creditcard.
Not to brag, but Progressive's Name Your Price tool is mankind's greatest tool ever. Even better than the wheel. Sure, without the wheel, we wouldn't have modern transportation or funny videos of dogs riding skateboards. But without the Name Your Price tool, we wouldn't have easy access to auto insurance options based on our budget. And, well, cars do need wheels. They also need insurance, and insurance never goes flat. Learn more about the greatest tool ever, the Name Your Price tool at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
Doug Gottlieb here. March is here. That means Chick Days, planting your garden, and college basketball. Just like in basketball, every team needs its MVP. When it comes to team members who go above and beyond, Tractor Supply has the winning lineup. Our home team at Tractor Supply is excited to support your hometown. We're proud to be part of the excitement of college basketball tournament season, and our home team looks forward to serving your hometown. Because every day is game day at Tractor Supply.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
The needs of modern businesses are always changing, but corporate cards haven't evolved in decades. Until now. Meet Ramp, the all-in-one finance platform that combines corporate cards with spend management software. Ramp is the only card designed to actually help your business spend less, not more. With Ramp, you can set custom controls to stop out-of-policy spend before it even happens. And Ramp software even does expense reports for you. No more manual entries, no more chasing receipts. And with best-in-class accounting integrations, you'll close your books in days, not weeks. Ramp gives you better insights and a real-time view of all company spend, so you can stay focused on the big picture and build a healthier business. Join over 15,000 businesses who have switched to Ramp and start saving an average of 5%. Modern finance runs on Ramp. And now get $250 when you join Ramp. Just go to ramp.com/sports. That's ramp.com/sports.
Ah, winter, with its cold, dry air causing that not so nice winter nose feeling. Thankfully, you don't have to wait for warmer weather to clear sinus congestion and send winter nose packing. All you need is Navage Nasal Care. Navage helps soothe the inflamed nasal passages that are often part of colds and infections. It flushes a pure, refreshing saline solution through your sinuses to give you the soothing moisture you need. Navage also sucks out the other irritants trapped in your nose: viruses, dust, bacteria, and germs too. Winter might feel like it drags on forever, but Navage works quickly, helping you breathe more clearly in just 30 seconds. No decongestants required. Navage is a drug-free solution that helps you breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier. Get Navage today and make winter a little more bearable. Navage is available online at Navage.com or in stores at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, and Target. Navage, Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
A lot of us spend our lives wishing we had more time. The question is, time for what? What's the first thing you'd do if you had an extra hour in your day? Maybe you'd see a movie by yourself, take a rejuvenating nap, curl up with a good book, or catch up with an old friend. Or maybe you just enjoy doing nothing for once. The best way to squeeze that special thing into your schedule is to know what's important to you so that you can make it a priority. And therapy can help you figure that out. A therapist can guide you through the process of defining your values and understanding your priorities, so you know what things you can spend your time on that will really fulfill you. Otherwise, you'll always be wishing for more time. BetterHelp offers convenient, affordable online therapy that comes to you. Start the process in minutes and switch therapists anytime. Learn how to make time for what makes you happy with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/rightchoice today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/rightchoice.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain.
But we don't speak Spanish.
So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks. Babbel's conversational method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish.
Estoy muy emocionado para ir a España contigo.
Aw, he just said, I'm very excited to go to Spain with you. Nos vamos a divertir mucho.
And that means we're going to have a lot of fun.
Sí. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone presents the Craig Way Show. Join Craig Way weekdays from 2 to 5 p.m. only on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone.
Somebody once told me the world is gonna roll me. I ain't the
Want to send a message to Hardge and Salty? Text the word Texas, followed by your message to 81530. Standard data and message rates may apply. Now back to the Hardge Knocks Life on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone.
You definitely want to continue to listen to the Hardge Knocks Live every Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 a.m. because you get a chance to win some things. And right now you get a chance to enter the chance to win some tickets to see the San Antonio Spurs take on the Brooklyn Nets at the Moody Center on March the 17th. All you got to do is go over to our Instagram page at AM1300 The Zone, like, follow, and try to figure out how you will get a chance to win a pair of tickets to watch the San Antonio Spurs as they play the Brooklyn Nets. Just go over to Instagram, AM1300 The Zone, follow the instructions, and boom, you might be in the house. That might be a fun game to go to, Salty.
They might actually win that game.
Possibly.
Better chance than the first game at Moody Center against the Nuggets.
Exactly, for sure. That'll be a little different
Seeing the
outcome.
Joker would be cool, but he gonna put the hurt on him. I'm sure.
No doubt about it. No doubt about that.
Siri wants to go.
Siri wants to go. She already signed herself up. Salty, we want to talk a little bit about this Dallas Cowboys situation and what the expectations are. Jane Slater, who used to be at the Longhorn Network, she's been covering the Dallas Cowboys for quite some time. I believe that she did it right after she left here. She talks about the Cowboys a lot. She gets a lot of inside information, and she goes on NFL Network, as she did yesterday, to talk about the running back position and what the offseason has looked like for the Cowboys. We've talked about it before, too. We talked about how Tony Pollard is not an every down back. He was coming off of an injury, and you let Zeke walk, and you didn't replace him. Rico Dowdle, I thought, was running hard, but he's often injured. You also had Deuce Vaughn. You didn't even use Deuce Vaughn.
Deuce was not loose.
Yes, you should have been able to get him in there to help with the passing game. It didn't necessarily have to be the running game. Deuce could have been a valuable part of catching passes out of the backfield, return game, and everything else that goes with it. But yesterday, she was talking to Bucky Brooks and another gentleman on the NFL Network, and Jane was talking about the Cowboys and what is truly going on with them in that running back position, and how should they approach it?
Well, to piggyback off of what Bucky said, one of the areas that they struggled with execution was the run game last year. They were 14th in the league, and Tony Pollard had his lowest yards per carry. Now, we all sort of knew this was going to be an issue heading into the season, didn't we? I mean, we talked about, all right, in the absence of Ezekiel Elliott, who do you have there that can, be a guy up front that can help and open up some of those holes for Tony Pollard? And you didn't. In fact, we're seeing that in the fact that they're letting Tony Pollard test the market as well as Rico Dowdle. It reminds me a little bit of the meme guys of Will Smith walking in the living room and looking around and there's no one there. I'm told that they are very interested in Jonathan Brooks. Who wouldn't be? The Texas running back. They pick at 56. He would be an interesting round 2 guy for them. There's also a number of free agents out there. This running backs market is not what it used to be. You've got guys like Derrick Henry, DeAndre Swift, Saquon Barkley. And so I anticipate that there's going to be a mix of a draft running back as well as possibly a veteran running back. But we'll just have to see how all these numbers. And again, it goes back to Dak. You figure out his contract situation and you'll know what sort of money you have to go shopping. So, as we're talking about memes, it's that stick. Do something, Cal.
Yeah. I mean, you got to do something, Cowboys. We've talked about it numerous times. We've talked about the fact of how this team needs to perform in those types of situations, and they missed the boat on that. There were some times that even at the trade deadline, you would have been able to go get a Derrick Henry. You could have made that move. Now, a name that was popping up out there is Saquon Barkley. I heard somebody talking about that yesterday. Would Saquon Barkley want to have that star on his head? But you got to also remember, how much are you willing to pay Saquon? You didn't want to pay any other running back. Now you're going to have an opportunity to pay a guy that wants to be one of the highest paid players at that position.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to make a move for that? Are you going to look at Derrick Henry and say, hey, Derrick Henry, I know that you're a workout warrior. You look like you're in great shape. You can lift a car. But are you going to be able to play for us on a 2-year deal because you're at the latter end of your career? Or do you go and get a Josh Jacobs who can be an every down back? I know a lot of people don't think he can catch the ball out of the backfield, but has anybody ever really worked with him to do so? And maybe that's the opportunity for you to put a Deuce Vaughn in the field. So you'll have different opportunities to do some things, but they have to do something. And one of the things they need to do is change the culture of the Dallas Cowboys. And what do I mean by that? Well, we've had these conversations numerous times. I've talked to Goose Goslin. He believes that it's more of a country club and a zoo type of atmosphere. And when I say zoo, I'm talking about there's a lot that goes on to being a Dallas Cowboy. There's a lot that goes on at Cowboys facilities.
Mm-hmm.
But Dalton Schultz came out yesterday and did an interview. Now, this will not sound like news to you guys or even something new, but it's just one of those other things that when you leave a place, you don't always have to talk bad about the place. You don't, Dalton.
Different than your time in Dallas whenever you're talking about all the off the field. Is it? Is that real?
That was one of the first things that kind of stuck out to me is like, it feels like much more, I don't want to say college because it's not, but like the focus is just football, you know what I mean? And going back and like telling some people like how kind of being around the Cowboys, like practice facility and, game day, describing some of the interactions and stuff that you see on a day-to-day basis, like surprise a lot of people. They're like, holy crap, like that actually happens like at a practice facility. And like, it's just, you think it's normal. And then you come to a place like this.
Like what? You don't have to out anything, but like, what are you?
No, dude, it's just like there's people literally going on tours while you're listening in the weight room. And they've got like a one-way mirror for people to like look at. Like it's a zoo, dude. Like, there's people tapping on the glass, like trying to get people's attention as they're doing, power cleans or whatnot. And it's different. And I mean, that's the brand that they've built. That's what Jerry Jones likes. That's the way that they run things. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, you don't realize like how many, eyeballs and how much that can maybe, distract from, stuff just in the locker room, being in the facility, until you go somewhere else and you're like, holy crap, like, dude, there's none of that. Like, this is, also a really well-run organization in Houston. And I think that was one of the things that kind of scared me about like leaving Dallas the most, is like, I wasn't sure what another organization would kind of feel like. And dude, I got here and it was like, this place is a well-oiled machine. Like it's, coaching staff, the coaching changes. I can't speak to the previous stuff, but like the strength staff is phenomenal. The training staff is unbelievable. This has been the most like trainers that I've ever seen on a staff, and they take really amazing care of the players. The nutrition staff is phenomenal. The chefs, they came in and they poached like 5 of the best chefs in the Houston area, and they paid them a bunch more. And they're like, come hang out and cook for us.
Smart.
And so it's like everything that they kind of do is really top notch. And, not being sure of like how another organization would kind of be run leaving Dallas, like I was so happy. And
listen,
happy to leave Dallas.
First off, that stuff about getting the best chefs in Houston and doing all, you think Jerry Jones don't have the best people working for him?
He gives the media carved prime rib, a full-on carving station. You're telling me the players don't get that or better?
Some of those things that he was saying is, come on, man. I mean, you just broke up with your ex-girlfriend.
He's too busy driving that bus. He's putting everybody under.
I'm just like, what are you paying attention to, man? Are certain things, I understand, yes, people coming by the tours, okay. Yeah, they need to try to not make them come around you guys, and that's fine. But still, man, don't act like you went to the best organization on earth. Let's not forget that this was the same organization that covered up a scandal with Deshaun Watson. Let's not forget that this is the same organization that fired coaches back to back so you could get CJ Stroud that you got lucky with, because you really wanted to have Bryce Young. Just think about those types of things. That you're talking about an organization, the Dallas Cowboys. Yes, we know it is an absolute circus. You had a lot of people not wanting to go to your football games before, bruh. And you just happened to get on the good side of what they were doing.
He's just mad he's not part of the country club anymore.
It's just ridiculous sometimes when all these guys decide that, hey, you know what? This is a perfect time for me to talk trash about the Cowboys. Everybody else does it. I'll get some clicks there. And that, Pat McAfee was kind of egging it on a little bit. But Pat was also like, what? Looking at him kind of like, what are you saying? Like every organization goes through these things. Did you know what the worst organization is? The Cincinnati Bengals and the Cleveland Browns. But they're changing the way that they go about it. Cincinnati for sure.
Oh, yeah. I remember us years ago talking to Quan about that.
How bad they were.
Like, here's your granola bar.
Yeah, go out there
practice.
and run. Yeah, go out there and practice. So let's not get it twisted when it come. It just doesn't make a lot of sense right now. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. So it is time for the Cowboys to flip the script on everybody, do something positive, do something to where we all believe that they are the team to beat. I think we have those conversations a lot. And just get to, I'm not even asking the Cowboys to get to the Super Bowl, Salty. I'm not even doing that. Just get me to the NFC Championship game. And everything after that, I'm golden with. But you can't talk that much and not achieve the ultimate goal, and that is hoisting that trophy. Get me to the NFC Championship game, Salty. And that'll shake them haters off. Coming up next, We got the baseball coach of the Texas Longhorns, David Pierce, as he talks about the week that was and where they head as they go to Lubbock. Right here on the Hard Knocks Life on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
Voice your opinion by using the iHeartRadio app talkback feature while listening to Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. Your hot and cold takes need to be heard somewhere. If you send a great one, you might just hear yourself on the air.
Don't miss the iHeart Country Festival at the Moody Center on Saturday, May 4th. Tickets on sale now at iHeartCountryFestival.com.
Good afternoon. Hunters Chase Drive at Research Boulevard. There's an accident slowing traffic. And there's also a wreck slowing you down Lamar Boulevard at Runberg Lane. I'm Maria Miller with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Randall's.
Flu season is here and Randall's has got you covered. The Randall's in-store pharmacy is offering free flu vaccines with most insurance plans. Plus, get 10% off your groceries when you get an immunization at Randall's. Go to randalls.com or check out the app for more details.
You're working really hard and you got a lot of pride. We're all in this together for a long, long ride. You can depend on us, we're tried and we're true. Hannah Chevrolet, we'll always stand by you.
Hannah Chevrolet has been an Austin original for over 80 years, and we've been treating customers right and saving them some serious money since the beginning. For straightforward, all-inclusive pricing, together, let's drive at HannahChevyAustin.com.
Discover, this is Daniela.
Hi, it's Jennifer Coolidge. I just want to thank you for making me feel so special. I earned cash back on debit for my dinner party groceries.
That's great. But with Discover Cashback Debit, we give everyone cash back on everyday purchases. Anything else I can help you with?
Do you like asparagus and mushroom sorbet? I've got leftovers.
Introducing Discover Cashback Debit, a checking account with cash back. It pays to Discover. Eligibility and terms at discover.com/cashback debit. Discover Bank, member FDIC.
Winter is coming. Heavy rain, sleet, snow, and ice. Are your tires up for the challenge? In the season's worst conditions, winter tires are a game changer. They elevate traction, control, and confidence. Tire Rack sells only the best, like the Goodyear Ultra Grip. Go to TireRack.com/Dan. Tell them what you drive. Your tires will be shipped fast and free to you or one of over 10,000 recommended installers. TireRack.com/Dan. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Did you know that solar energy gives you independence from utilities and helps keep your energy costs down? Why not get a free estimate with locally owned Divided Sky Roofing and Solar? You can get more information at mydividedsky.com. That's mydividedsky.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. hims.com/radio.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home.
That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-659-8080. That's 1-800-659-8080. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-659-8080. That's 1-800-659-8080.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
Hey everyone, it's Joe Montana. Spreading the word about pneumococcal pneumonia, a potentially serious bacterial lung disease that can be life-threatening. If you're 65 or older like me, you're at increased risk. So, what's the game plan? A strong defense. Pneumococcal pneumonia can strike at any time in any season, so you shouldn't wait to help protect yourself. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist about vaccination today and learn more at knowpneumonia.com. That's KNOW pneumonia.com.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
No other vehicle says Texas proud more than a Ford from Covert Ford of Austin. Deeply rooted in Texas history, the Covert family has taken great pride for over 114 years. That's why you can always depend on Covert Ford to deliver the best customer experience and a superior selection of new Ford vehicles. Shop online at covertford.com.
From the ABA Heating and Cooling Weather Center, this is Zone Weather.
Here, a high of 75. More scattered thunderstorms tonight, a low of 65. For Friday, thunderstorms in the morning, then partly cloudy in the afternoon, a high in the low 80s. Tomorrow night's low, 46.
This report is sponsored by the Echo Park Automotive Grand Prix at COTA.
It's NASCAR weekend right here in Austin. Camping, dancing, and a whole lot of hooting and hollering. So get your tickets today. The Echo Park Automotive Grand Prix at COTA, March 22nd through 24th. Y'all in?
The free iHeartRadio app has over 100 commercial-free stations waiting for you to explore right now. Like Alternative Rewind, where all rock began. R.E.M., The Cure, Depeche Mode, Pretenders, Talking Heads, and more. Just open the free iHeartRadio app, search Alternative Rewind, and listen now. iHeartRadio. Free never sounded so good.
All the good stuff.
Yeah. Camps keeps you
on top of pop culture.
The sitcom Lopez vs. Lopez is returning soon. NBC announced that the show will kick off its second season in early April, airing back-to-back episodes each Tuesday for 5 weeks. It replaces Night Court and Extended Family, which will have completed their seasons. George Lopez stars in Lopez vs. Lopez alongside his real-life daughter Mayan Lopez, playing an estranged father and daughter who move in together and try to rebuild their relationship. It's back April 2nd at 8/7 Central on NBC.
All right.
And that's what's poppin'. I'm Camps on iHeartRadio.
Join the voice of the Texas Longhorns, Craig Way, each day from 2 to 5 p.m. for the Craig Way Show on Sports Radio AM 1300, The Zone. Back at it on the Hardge Knocks Live. Have your voice heard on the show by using the iHeartRadio app TalkBack feature. Now, here's Mike and Shannon.
Welcome back to the Hardge Knocks Life. And at this time, every Thursday, 8:40 a.m., we have the pleasure to be joined by the head coach of the Texas baseball team, one David Pierce. Good morning, Coach. How you doing?
Very hard. Doing okay. And we're trying to get ready to get to Lubbock. We got an 8-hour bus trip, so looking forward to competition in Lubbock for the last time in the Big 12.
No doubt about it. So, Coach, before we get into the hard baseball questions, we're going to have a little bit of fun with you. Today is National Cereal Day. And the question for me, and what's been out there, do you put the milk in first or the cereal in first?
Always cereal first.
Thank you. That's all I needed to know, because I'm still trying to figure out who puts their milk in their cereal bowl first. I have no idea. All right, let's get down to the hard questions now. Tough weekend in Houston. Some positives, you scored a lot of runs, but some negatives, you gave up a bunch of runs, and then you come back home. Big crowd on Tuesday night, taking on the Texas A&M Fighting Aggies. Come up short in that game. What was your takeaways from these last 4 baseball games?
Not playing 3 phases of the game together. When you pitch and make a pitch, you gotta make plays, and timely hitting is more important than a lot of hits. And so just piecing it all together. When you look at the Saturday game against Texas State, there's a couple of pitches here and there. There's a play here and there that can actually change the outcome of the games. Same thing with the Vanderbilt game. You're up by 8. You got to hold a lead. So everybody immediately looks at the pitching, rightfully so, because we didn't pitch well. We haven't pitched well in the last 4 games. But at the same time, I always connect our pitching and defense together and how they coordinate together. And so that always has to be in unison. And, we didn't have that. But I really like the way we swung the bats and competed. After, the Friday night game against LSU, everybody's going to say you got beat because you struck out 20 times. And then you didn't pitch the next 3 games. And that's all true. But there's so many other detailed pieces that go with that. And that's what this team's trying to do and get better and understand. And I'm not necessarily saying that I'm an optimist of the way that happened, but I'm an optimist of the way that our pieces are together, where we're going to be fine. And the one thing that this team won't do, and this coaching staff won't do, is feel sorry for ourselves or shut down. We never have. We never will. There's nobody more frustrated than the clubhouse when you look at an environment like Tuesday night and you got the Aggies coming to town, and it's going to be an epic type Tuesday night game. And, it's a 3-1 game in the 7th, and we give up a 4 spot and really don't give ourselves a chance to win the game. That's frustrating for everybody. But we go back and dissect the entire game and had a heck of a meeting yesterday with the team, about an hour and a half of some guys just having real dialogue, and that's important for our team. We play a lot of games, and so the biggest thing my concern is making sure that our team is ready to go to Tech and compete. And I want 9 guys on the field competing. I want guys on the mound competing. And if we're getting that and that intent is right, we're going to be fine, and we will get that. So it's frustrating. I get it, especially for fans and people in the region that want to see a great ball game. But it's no more frustrating for those guys than the guys in our clubhouse. And this is when our team needs us. This is when we need our fans and we need our support.
We're talking to the head baseball coach of Texas Longhorns, David Pierce, right here on the Hardge Knocks Life on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. And Coach, I wanted to sit here and ask you, you alluded to it a little bit, a play here, a play there. The team has 14 errors already at the beginning of the season. And I know that there's some youth that is out there, but you've also got a lot of experience out there. What do you need to do to clean that up as well?
I mean, we work on defense every day, and you have to have confidence and want the ball hit to you. I mean, we had 2 very uncharacteristic errors Tuesday night in our outfield play. We've had a couple of errors on picks from pitchers to infielders, either at first or at second. Our infield defense, honestly, has been tremendous. So our errors haven't really come from our infield defenses, and that's usually where you get affected by errors. So that when I look at things like that's a positive. We've gotten great play on the left side from Peyton and from Jay Flo. So yeah, Jack and D Kennedy at second have made the plays. I like where Borba is coming in, but just there's little things. If you look back at the Vanderbilt game, RJ Austin makes a great bunt. Peyton makes a great play. All we need is a first baseman that's young over there to get on the front of the bag and stretch a little bit deeper, and he's out. So you're talking about a game of inches and making those improvements.
Yeah. So I want to talk about the pitching staff too. Obviously, you've been talking about it, trying to figure out how you're going to piece the bullpen part of it together. There's been some ups, there's been some downs. What are you looking at to try to shore this thing up? I know it's early, but there's a lot of guys that need to step up in those moments.
Okay, let's look at Tuesday night and three really good pieces of our history, and that's Tanner Witt, Luke Harrison, and David Shaw. All three of those guys are coming off of injuries, and they're coming off of trying to get right. So it's a real difficult thing to get them right, to get feel in competition and be deeply into the competition. They're getting closer. It's frustrating, but they're getting closer. They're as frustrated as anyone when they're not making that pitch. But we have Chase Loomis will return with us this weekend. A couple of young guys at Hudson Hamilton, Cole Selvig. Toomas has been a very good positive piece. And if you just look back at the weekend, we had a start of 3 innings, a start of 1 2/3, and a start of Cody went 4 2/3. So when you look at that, it changes the dynamic of the leverage in the bullpen when you have to push guys much earlier. So we used some guys Saturday that weren't available Sunday. Then so you look at the domino effect. So it all starts with our starting pitching. So we have to have great starting pitching from LeBaron, from Cody, from Charlie, and potentially Witt.
Yeah, you start looking at this team too. Who do you expect to come a little bit sooner than what you were expecting as far as the pitching staff, and who's going to be able to hold that together, especially in some of those middle relief innings where you need somebody to come in and take the ball and make sure that they hold that lead or try to hold it where their team doesn't score anymore?
Exactly. I mean, it's such a valid point because, you have to pride yourself on pitching and defense. And if you limit the amount of runs scored, you have to score. You don't have to score as many. And the key for us is to have shutdown innings. So we need guys like Max Grubbs. We need the young guy Toomas to step in. We need Fontenot and Gage Bame to really become real pieces of that pen. And Gage has been really exceptional. Fontenot has been in spots. So we're just trying to build that.
So, Coach, I want to ask you this. We're talking to David Pierce, the head baseball coach of the Texas Longhorns, as they get ready to make that trip to Lubbock for the final time, as you mentioned just a little while ago. You already know it's going to be a crazy scene there in Lubbock. You expect the wildness as always. What are you telling your team to prepare for as they get ready to make that trip from Lubbock to Lubbock, and what are you expecting from Texas Tech?
We're going in to win the series. We don't look at it any other way. We've always played well there since I've been the head coach at Texas. We kind of created some calluses going through these last 4 or 5 games to get prepared for that, facing really good pitching, facing top 10 teams. I was asked the other day in media, did you feel like, the timing of playing these types of teams was bad for your team when you're not playing at your best? I said, no, that's where we learn. So we're going in there to win the series and nothing less than that. That's our goal. That's our expectations. And we haven't lost one thought of what our ultimate goal is. Yeah, we've had bumps in the road. We have them every year. They just kind of been a little tough stretch. It's time for our guys to just step up and relax and go play baseball like they've been doing their entire life. Texas Tech is good, and they're always going to play well at home. Probably going to have the wind blowing out the first couple of games. So it could be a slugfest. They average 14 runs a game, which is crazy, number 1 in the country. So we got our hands full, but we're looking forward to that challenge, and we're looking forward to going to Texas Tech in that environment and really coming together in our dugout.
That's all right. Texas Tech 10-2 on the regular season. This is the first matchup for the Big 12 as far as games being played in the Big 12. Coach, I want to thank you for taking the time. I want y'all to have a safe trip, and let's go turn this thing around as quick as we possibly can, right?
Yes, sir. All right, Hardge. I appreciate you guys. Hook 'em horns.
All right. There he is, head coach David Pierce of the Texas Longhorns as they get ready to head into a big matchup against the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Texas Tech 6-0 at home. You heard them say, hey, they're good over there, and they score a lot of runs. So expect a battle starting Friday night in Lubbock. One more segment of the show. We're going to send you off to Dan Patrick. But when we come back, I got some more questions, and we're going to give you the results of that poll where they talking about putting in the milk first. What's wrong with these people? Right here on the Hard Knocks Life on Sports Radio, AM 1300, The Zone.
Text Texas, followed by your message to 81530 to chat along with your favorite sports radio, AM 1300, The Zone hosts. That's Texas, followed by your message to 81530. Standard data and message rates may apply.
Don't miss the iHeart Country Festival at the Moody Center on Saturday, May 4th. Tickets on sale now at iHeartCountryFestival.com.
I-35 on the frontage road, northbound right around East McCarty Lane. We have road construction. Use caution getting through I-35 southbound at Wonder World. The right lane blocked with an accident, causing a 10-minute delay. I'm Ty Holt with a look at Austin area traffic.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know there's a better way to do things, like bundling your home and auto insurance with Allstate. Why make things harder than they need to be? There's a better way to save time and money. Visit allstate.com or call for a quote today.
Hi, this is Tom McKay with Audiovisual Consultations. Today's home electronics can be a bit daunting. My company has spent the last 36 years making sure they are not. For those of you who have not experienced our services yet, we'd like to invite you to give us a try for all your home electronics needs. We carry all the major brands of televisions and stereo equipment at prices you can't find in stores. And we come to you. There's no need to leave your home to find great pricing and incomparable service. No traffic, inexperienced sales geeks, or pushy showroom tactics. We believe in having some fun and dreaming big. You have a dream for your home entertainment? Let us know. We can make it come true. And we are always there to help after the job is done. We cultivate clients for a lifetime by treating everyone like their family. No, not those family members. I'm talking about the ones you actually like. So relax, hug your kids, make love to your wife, and smile. Then, when you have a moment, give us a call at 255-8678. That's 512-255-8678. Or online at avconsultations.com.
There's nothing like a great night's sleep. Every great day starts the night before. Quality sleep can help boost your reaction time and recovery time and performance. That's why the Sleep Number Smart Bed is designed for your one-of-a-kind, ever-evolving sleep needs. So how do you take it to the next level? Sleep Number Smart Beds let you choose the ideal comfort, the firmness on each side. 2 beds in one, that's your sleep number. Mine is 75. The beds automatically respond and adjust to your movements, so you stay sleeping comfortably all night long. Sleep Number Smart Beds learn how you sleep. They provide personalized insights to help you sleep better. J.D. Power ranks Sleep Number #1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in-store. And now, the Queen Sleep Number C4 Smart Bed, only $1,599. Save $300, only for a limited time. For J.D. Power 2023 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Only to Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com/Patrick.
Hi, this is Earl Ron, president of New South Window. New South offers volume discounts for homeowners. The more you buy, the more you save. Our discounts start at the 4th window, and from there, the savings grow. New South can do this because we own our factory, and that's the power of Factory Direct. Visit us at newsouthwindow.com.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Gabby.
Hey, Gabby. It's Jennifer Coolidge. Hi. I'm so glad I reached you at 2 a.m.
Oh, of course. Anyone with a Discover card can call and talk to a real person 24/7. Now, how can I help?
Yeah, I used my Discover card to buy these yellow pleather pajamas, and I'm just not sure I'm pulling them off.
24/7 U.S.-based customer service. It pays to Discover. Limitations apply. Learn more at discover.com/credit-card.
Looking for the perfect place to get a bite to eat before or after the game? Vaqueros Cafe and Cantina has you covered. With locations on 360 in Westlake or Quinlan Park Road in Steiner Ranch, both offer the perfect place to pregame or celebrate after the game. We use only the finest, freshest ingredients. Mouth-watering fajitas, fresh seafood, char-grilled oysters, and queso you'll want to eat by the gallon. Happy hour, dinner with family and friends, private events, Vaqueros Cafe and Cantina is the place. Visit vaqueroscafe.com. Tex-Mex done right.
Get the Apple leasing advantage today. Visit appleleasing.com. That's appleleasing.com.
Join us Monday night for our 2024 iHeart Podcast Awards, presented by The Hartford, live at South by Southwest. We'll honor the very best in podcasting from the past year and celebrate the most innovative talent and creators in the industry. Listen Monday night, starting at 11 p.m. right here.
Presented by the Hartford Small Business Insurance. Learn more or start a quote at thehartford.com/small business. With insurance designed for your small business, the Bucks got your back.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
Texas basketball plays here on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone. We're back to the Hardge Knocks Live on Sports Radio AM 1300 The Zone with Hardge and Salty. Follow the crew on Twitter at Mike Hardball Hardge and at Shannon B. Sweeney.
Special shout out to David Pierce, head baseball coach of the University of Texas Longhorns. Came in with a real conversation and addressed some of the issues that the team is having, but he also didn't give up hope, and nobody's backing away from the challenge that is put upon them as they get ready to head out to Lubbock and, of course, take on the Big 12 for the final time. Make sure you go to wherever you get your podcast. Go to iHeart, the iHeart Radio app. Go to the podcast page. Go to AM 1300 The Zone. Go to the podcast or wherever you get your podcast, and you can hear that and all of the shows, as we had a great one today. Special shout out to Eric Henry as he came on as well and talked of Horns 24/7 to talk about the University of Texas football team and basketball team as they get ready to have a big matchup this weekend, last matchup at home against Oklahoma. It's going to be a fun weekend, Salty. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, and a chance to kind of reset and set the tone going into the Big 12 tournaments. The women obviously start their tournament run. I wanted to ask you that, they got to buy the women because they're the number 2 seed. So they'll either be taking on Kansas or BYU. Now they beat both of those teams in the regular season pretty handily, and BYU is actually the last game they played to end the regular season. Do you have a preference? I mean, I think I would be okay saying I think we could handle either one.
Right.
But in these situations, you never know. One and done teams, they've seen you before, so maybe they're going to come with something different. Do you feel more comfortable with one or the other?
No, it doesn't really matter to me. But if I had to choose one, and that's what you asked that question for, was for me to choose one, I'm going to say BYU. Go ahead and take on BYU. Number one, you just played them. Number two, you handled them pretty well. And number three, it's the Big 12 tournament. You've had success. You're one heck of a coach. Your team is ready to go. Even though you said practice was kind of rough yesterday when they had 2 days off. So now they're back in the mix, but I'm sure they're going to be prepared and ready to go. So to me, it's them against, I want them to play Oklahoma again for Big 12 championship. I want that to happen. Yep. I don't know if the bracket is set up for them to be able to get to that, but if they can play each other for a Big 12 championship where Brett Yormark has to give one of those two teams the trophy as they depart to go to the SEC, I think will be pretty doggone cool. Another thing I wanted to point out, Salty, you said it, National Cereal Day. And this got me kind of fired up because of the fact I still don't understand how these are even questions. And even David Pierce answered that question right away. It is cereal in the bowl first, followed by the milk. And of course, Salty, I don't eat cereal. So there we go.
There's more votes on that than just me.
That is true.
I did the math.
That is true.
I have people out there.
But right now, cereal is leading, obviously, to go in the bowl first, 87.5%. So it's obvious, unanimous pretty much to me. I know it's not unanimous, but it's unanimous when they start thinking about that. I'm looking at the cereal. Salty, tonight is a big night for me. I am calling my first college basketball game this season. Now, I've done it in the past, but it's been a while. It's a little late in the season. Other people are probably at conference tournaments, and doing some other things. But I got a call tonight in Stephenville, so I'm headed up to Tarleton tonight to call the Tarleton Texans as they host the Utah Valley Wolverines in a big matchup. They have 2 more home games. Wisdom Gym is special to me because my son played basketball there. Michael had a scholarship there. His head coach is now retiring and will be officially retiring from athletics officially Saturday. So this will be the last time I make that trip up there to say hello and congrats and moving on. But man, basketball season is almost over, and your boy gets to call one of the last 2 games of the regular season. So I'll be on the road, but I'll be back tomorrow, folks. You best believe Hardge Knocks Life will be getting it again. Make sure you go over to the podcast page if you missed any part of the show. And just remember this, don't believe everything you see, because even salt looks like sugar. Peace.
From the Audiovisual Consultation Studio, this is KVET AM Austin, AM 1300 The Zone. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app for all your sports, podcasts, and music.